hey guys, I'm Drew Harrison, and welcome to another amazing Monday morning. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing awesome. Had a fantastic weekend. Can't wait to get into it. You can sleep soundly. Jeff Bezos is a married man again. He got married with all of his celebrity friends in Italy. Pissed off all the locals. It was great. You know, nothing like a 30 mil wedding, you know. But it did get the rumor mill circulating. Tom Brady not only linked to Sydney Sweeney, but was seen dancing it up with supermodel Brooks Nader as well. Mr. Brady, my man is living it up. I mean, if you were a retired GOAT with just money in the bank. There's a new Monopoly game coming out, and it is replacing the paper money with a phone app. It's like a banking app. Just take care of it all. Now when you get angry and flip the board, like just the pieces go flying. There's no way to make an exit. F1 debuted in America, making $55.6 million in North America and $144 million globally. Again, F1 proving that everything associated with it is popular except for the actual race. It's so boring. God, it's so boring. Like, no one passes anybody. Like, you usually end the way you started. Just, I can't get into it. I've tried. Just can't do it. Shane Gillis is hosting the ESPYs, and I'm going to let y'all know right now, ain't nobody safe. Like, if I was an athlete that had, like, a questionable year, you know, like, to where they like, Mike could make a joke on me, I wouldn't show up. I'd be like, send me my SB. If I win, just mail it to me. I don't want to be in the room. I'm going to get roasted. Nickelodeon pulled the trigger on Tiny Chef this week, causing an uproar on the internet. A massive movement to bring him back, led by an unlikely source, E40. That's right, E40 is leading the movement to bring back Tiny Chef. They got a GoFundMe that's already raised a bunch of money. So Nickelodeon, if it's a money thing, I think we got you covered. Bring back Tiny Chef. We got an awesome show for you. Up next, we got On This Day. June 30th, on this day in 1902, we had our first back-to-back-to-back home runs. Cleveland being the first AL team to do that feat, June 30th, 1902. Babe Ruth would go on 28 years later in 1930 to be the first player to hit 3 in a game. And then the Yankees this year just blowing that stat out of the water by being the first team to hit 3 straight pitches out of the park. Show offs. It just goes to show you, chicks dig the long ball. I'm chicks. In 1905, Albert Einstein released his theory of special relativity. You know, E equals MC squared, you know. 120 years later, we still don't know what it means. We are getting dumber. In 1953, the first Corvette from Chevrolet was pushed off the manufacturing line, thus ensuing dudes' egos would never be the same. You got a Corvette? What you got under the hood there? Huh? A 454? Man, what a banger of a day, June 30th, 1994. Not only did we have the pre-trial hearing start in the O.J. Simpson trial, and Tanya Harding was banned for life from the United States Skating Federation. Wow, what a time to be alive. Me personally, I do it all the time. Love to think of the 90s as this great decade, but it had its dark side too. That's it for On This Day. Next up, we got sports. Surprise to absolutely nobody, Cooper Flagg goes number 1 to the Mavs. Ron Harper's kid, Dylan Harper, goes number 2 to the Spurs. What was a surprise was Ace Bailey going number 5 to the Jazz. And Drew, why do you say was it a surprise? Was he not a top 5 worthy pick? No, he was. But my man didn't go to any meetings, so it caught him off guard that the Jazz wanted him at number 5. Like, I get it, man. You know, like, you got to look out for you. But no meetings? Like, you didn't take a single meeting? Like, I get it. You can walk out if you don't like what they're saying, but you didn't, like, go to a single meeting? Today's the deadline for him to show up in Utah, so many are worried that he might sit out a year and re-enter next year's draft, but Ace Bailey's camp maintains he is going to be a professional about it, and this was his process. the entire time. Bulls trade Lonzo Ball to the Cavs. Not going to lie to you, forgot Lonzo Ball was still in the league, but I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's getting another chance, a different change of scenery. I just hate it because knee problems never end well. It's cutting Brandon Roy's career short, cut Tracy McGrady's career short. It has taken so many promising young stars and made them forgettable, unfortunately. It is the nature of the beast, so I'm hoping he bounces back. Cavs got a talented lineup, a talented squad, so I'm hoping he can contribute. Harden re-ups with the Clippers. Oubre going back to the Sixers. Heat's Duncan Robinson's going to test free agency. They couldn't come up to an agreement on a deal. And Julius Randle, the big piece in the Karl Anthony Towns trade to the Knicks last year, re-ups with the Timberwolves. And don't you worry your pretty little heads, LeBron James opts in on his $52.6 million player option to return to the Lakers, but he maintains that he has his eyes on the prize and wants to see what kind of roster moves they can make to ensure him and Luka are back fighting in the Western Conference this year. Caitlin Clark and Nafisha Collier are your WNBA All-Star Team captains. Angel Reese making waves in the W with Caitlin on the sidelines. She just recorded 15-plus rebounds for the last 4 games, first to do it. Oh, it's almost my favorite time of the year for Major League Baseball. It's the All-Star break where we can enjoy the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game and then care about baseball the rest of the year. I'm kidding. Of course, we've been watching. Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge are your leading vote getters, so they are in the All-Star game. The finalists have been announced for each position, so if you want your voice heard, make sure you go to MLB.com, get in those votes for your favorite superstar. Now, I think it's an atrocity. Ellie Cruz was left off, the shortstop. I get it. He's behind Lindor and Mookie Betts, 2 greats, but Ellie De La Cruz is leading in most of the categories, so hope they rectify that situation. But I mean, snubs happen every year, but dude is one of the faces of the game. He needs to be there. I guess with Lindor and Betts and De La Cruz, we got a whole A-Rod, Garcia Parra, Jeter scenario again. So hopefully it can be rectified. All 3 of them can share the spotlight and put my man Matt Olson in at first base. I know Freddie Freeman, and there's a whole bunch of talented first basemen out there, but Olsen, come on, man. Ronald Acuna will be in the Home Run Derby. Since it is in Atlanta, we do have a hometown guy there, so I enjoy that. And the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, has signed up for the Home Run Derby as well, which is fitting because he's leading the league in home runs. He just keeps pumping them out, or dumping them out. And as NHL free agency hits, they also had their draft, and the Islanders make 17-year-old defenseman Matthew Schaefer the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. Had a lot of cool highlights. Bailey from WWE announced the San Jose pick. A couple old Mighty Ducks from the old movies announced the Mighty Ducks pick. So the draft always makes it fun. They were in the Sphere last year. They were in a regular LA arena or auditorium this year, so it's always fun to see. That's it for sports. Stay tuned for Tales from the Road. I'm here with my good buddy Jesse Jones, host of the Bourbon Showdown podcast. We just got done doing a fantastic show at his room here in Hendersonville. Is that still in Hendersonville? Or is that in a different place? Is Ben 10 in a different?
Hendersonville is up the street. We are Huntersville, and we did Ben 110 in Cornelius.
There we go. See, I'm a North Carolina kid, but I still get lost with all of the towns sometimes.
All the H's, it all runs together after a while.
I just know Cherryville is Sherville. I just knew that for sure. But do you have a good tale from the road for us?
Oh, my goodness. I feel like we've been doing this so long, there's probably quite a few. I think when I think of the road, I think of not the rooms that you work, but the people that you're around, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about the promises. Hey, pup, put that whiskey down and pet my head. It's not about where you are, it's about all of the things. And I'm in Colonial Williamsburg, and I've
had such fun shows.
I've had a lot of fun shows. You're talking about fun shows. I remember I was in Roanoke, Virginia, and I was adopted by me and Kevin McCaffrey, and we're adopted by the mayor of fun. That was literally how he introduced himself, as the mayor of fun, and his wife, who was also there with him, and she introduced herself as he is the mayor of fun. Like, don't worry about me. I'm the secretary of fun. He's the mayor of fun.
Last time I was in Roanoke, it was a Comedy Zone gig. They just opened the room, and it was the first weekend there, and it didn't come with a hotel room, so I had to fend for myself. Ooh. Found a nice hotel right down the street from the location. I check in. I'm on the phone with my wife, and she hears a social worker in front of me checking in multiple homeless people because it was going to be cold that night. I was at the hotel that was so downtrodden and so out of business that they housed the unhoused when it got too cold there. So my wife immediately heard that and was like, "You lost booking privileges. I will be booking your hotels from now on."
And don't worry about him. He's been here all night, but you guys need blankets, and you can cuddle with him. Cuddle with the Drew.
Like, what room are you in?
Warmth.
That's where you could go if you need a hug in the middle of the night.
Well, the mayor and his assistant of fun, they did show us a great time. They took us all over the place, but at some point in the night, it was like they felt like they had not done enough, and they were like, "You know who we know? We're friends with Screech. You guys want to know?" And I was with McCaffrey, and McCaffrey had worked with Screech on World's Dumbest. So McCaffrey very placatingly was like, "I know Dustin. He's a very nice guy." Like it was very, yes, you're right. Let's move on. And they were like, "Hold on, I'll FaceTime him." So the next thing you know, they've got Dustin Diamond, R.I.P., on FaceTime, and he's like, Hey, Screech, this is Jesse and Kevin. They're friends of ours in Roanoke." And he's like, "Hey, guys." And we're like, Hey, Screech, what's going on? You guys know the mayor of fun? And we're like, "Yeah, we do." He's like, Cool. Enjoy the burgers. And then I was like, "All right, bye, Screech."
I hope as he's like closing, he's like, "Run."
They will wear your skin. And then sure enough, by the end of the night, they were like, "Who wants to get burgers?"
He was just foreshadowing your
completely.
Night. Like, I know where this is headed.
It's like the serial killer movie where it's like, they will. You're going to end up in a pit, and they're going to be serving you burgers.
Bishop turned to me one time. It was me, Lou, and Bishop on the road. And we were in Charlotte, and we did a show at, it was your room. We did your
Are
show.
You talking the hurricane show?
Yeah. Afterwards, we're at a pizza place hanging out. And it was right down the street from our Airbnb. And these people were at the show, and they were at the pizza place. And they caught, somehow, before we know it, we're in the backseat of their car going somewhere. And Bishop just turns to me, and he's like, "I didn't know this is how we'd all die." And that was just stuck with me. And I went from having a good time to, these fans are just hanging out, and to,
are we going to
die? And I think they just ended up dropping us off at our Airbnb. Like, I don't even think they didn't take us on an adventure or anything. But Bishop just stone cold turning to me like, "I didn't think this is how we'd die."
And he's got the ability, like, Bishop can go from jokey to real.
He strikes the fear in your heart, man. The first time I met that guy, he handed me a gun case and was like, "We might need this tonight." So,
Bishop's always been a cooler for me. Like, when we're on the same show together, one of us does well, one of us doesn't do well. Like, there's never a scenario where we both leave in victory. It's always like Bishop scared the shit out of them and I had a great show, or Bishop was my cooler where he crushed so hard that I had to then go up and be like, "Hey, everybody."
Yes.
Who wants to hear about kids?
I remember we were doing a show and no one paid attention to us whatsoever. Like, no one listened to any comic whatsoever at any point. And Bishop goes up there and starts singing Night Train. Like, really getting into it.
Just going full on.
And at the end of it, he had everyone in that bar singing along with him, dude. It was great.
We were doing a show in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and
Good old Jacksonville.
Good old Jacksonville. And Bishop had gone up and he had done his thing. And then I go up after him.
Is this a Duck's restaurant?
Not Duck. I did that with Lou Margante. Okay. I do the thing where I can figure out if the crowd is going to be dirty or clean based on what's the word you use when you get mad. And the lady's answer was fun, but being able to see Bishop in the background when she said it was priceless. Because I was like, hey, what's the word you use when you get mad? And the guy, because I always say it to a guy, because you can play into the... if the guy will look inevitably at his lady friend for can I say it?
Can I say it?
And then I get to say to the crowd, don't look at her, look at me. Don't look at her, look at me. And the guy said something like, dang. And that's always a killer in the South. Like you can if you're in the Bible Belt, if they're like dang or shucks, or I've had a lot of darn. I've had, believe it or not, somebody's like, what's the word you use when you get mad? They're like, darn. Like, okay, here we go.
Like, oh, got him.
Just lie to my face. Because it's always the dude that says darn where you can look at him and go, it's not darn.
Yeah.
You know damn well it's not darn.
Yeah.
So the lady's probably like 6 feet away and Bishop's all the way at the back of the room. And I'm like, okay, that's not a great answer. How about you, ma'am? What's the word you use when you get mad? And she goes, and that right there is jarring enough, but the look on Bishop's face was like spread it on toast with butter, because it was amazing. He's just sitting there like, he's not surprised. He's sitting there going,
there she is. Good for her.
We found our white whale.
So Lewis Bishop is a icon. I call him the godfather of Wilmington comedy, because
1,000%.
he has helped every single comic that has come from Wilmington at some point.
Selflessly.
Yes, and we'll gladly do it all over again. And I remember my favorite Bishop that he used to run a show on Tuesday nights called Comedy Bingo at the Comedy Club in Dead Crow. Mm-hmm. Great show. Like, first time you could just run 20 minutes and just feel loose about it, just like, let's work on some stuff,
Feel free.
And there was a comic that he was kind of like everyone's little brother, Joe Lefevre. And Joe had this terrible habit of crushing it for 5 minutes straight and then telling the audience he didn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So Joe goes up and has one of his great sets where he riffs for 5 minutes and the crowd is in stitches. And then he has the audacity to say, I didn't write any of that. Mm-hmm. And you just hear Bishop in the back of the room like, damn it, you don't say that. So that will always stick with me.
Joe Lefevre, another Bishop and Joe story. He had the thing. He had the cup. What was the competition at the Lazy Pirate?
Oh yeah. The Carolina Cup.
Carolina Cup. So
was Joe around?
Joe has brought his parents to the
Lazy Pirate.
To the Lazy Pirate for the Carolina Cup. And Joe proceeds, and I think Bishop had brought me in to be like, if this goes horribly wrong, you can headline to bring it back from whatever they do. And Joe brings his mom to the show and proceeds to tell this super embarrassing story that I don't remember. Like, when you don't remember the exact story, but you remember it involves...
Just how embarrassing it was.
It's like, it involved his balls and something.
With your mom there?
With your mom there.
With your mom there?
So like, and blah, 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 and then my balls, and then blah, 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 something awful. Like those are my memories from the thing.
And he's probably, I love Joe, but he's probably doing it.
Yeah, he's got the face. He's got the face. Yeah. And then Lewis, knowing exactly what he's doing, does no time in between Joe and me, and he's just like,
Jesse can't wait. Chop this apart. Come on.
like freaking like the Beatles. And now the Beatles.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's just the respect he had for you, because Bishop probably had 5 things floating around.
1,000%.
He wanted to throw out there, but he's like, I'm gonna let Jesse handle this.
We'll just let him clean this up.
That's awesome, man.
And I'm pretty sure Joe went and sat with his mom before I tore him.
At least they could console each other.
Yes, yes.
Well, Jesse, thank you so much, man. Where can they find you online?
Oh, dude. My favorite part about me and you hanging out is that, like, none of this is anything that we had talked about talking about before we started.
Of course.
Bourbon Showdown, weekly show where we talk to the master distillers across the country about all the best whiskey in the country and in the world. And then just, be on the lookout.
Check out our show at Ben 110. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we do fun things across the country. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for Tales from the Road. Music video of the week is Gunship, Fly for Your Life. Now, I've loved this music video for quite a few years. Shout out to the homie Matt Simon for putting me on a long time ago, but I continuously go back to this. I love the animation, the imagery. It's got a really cool, like, 80s intro to it, like real arcadey, real neon, real 80s, so I love it. Grabs your attention immediately. Kicks off just a nice little airplane, zooming through the sky. Two little buddies on a nice little mission. Got real Top Gunny vibes, like, oh, they're just friends, but then you see the bullet holes and you're like, they are not friends. And then you start to notice that maybe they've been at it for a while. The plane's starting to look a little decrepit. They look decrepit, but behind them is the most beautiful scenery. You got these white capped mountains, it's just gorgeous. If only they would take the time to notice, They're zooming through the air, matching each other's move for move. You get to see both guys. They don't really come out and say it, but it's got a real, like, World War II vibe about it. USA and Germany. Sometimes you see some of the imagery, like a pistol they show later on, kind of shows that era. The jackets, the planes, and they are just fighting it out. But then they start running out of fuel and ammunition. I mean, two vital things to keep the fight going. And for a brief second, it's calm, it's peaceful. They look like they might set their differences aside, go their separate ways. They pull out photos of their loved ones back home. One of them's got a rosary. You start to think, let's call this off. Let's go back to where we need to go, and let's live to fight another day. But then, boom, all hell breaks loose. They get super mad at each other. Just the anger boils back to the surface. It actually breaks their, like, skin off, and now that they're, like, on demon time. But when it looks like they're going their separate way, they come right back. They actually collide midair, and they continue to fight it out. They parachute down to the ground. They're still shooting at each other in the parachutes. Get to the snow, and they cannot stop fighting. They eventually disintegrate. They eventually are still headed towards each other in the snow to keep fighting, and they just float off, vanish. So I think it's a good moral of the story is, you can get caught up fighting your enemy for so long, you don't even live your life, So I think this can teach us a nice lesson, do something nice for someone you might consider an enemy. Or not, who cares, That's our show for you this week, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us every Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And just remember, we're all weird. Isn't it more fun if we're weird together? We'll see you next time.